Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 1:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, September 15, 2021. This is not financial advice. The video is intended for educational purposes. Click the subscribe and the bell if you want to be notified when these videos come out. Click the thumbs up and share the video if you want others that you know who are interested in cryptos. We're here to talk about Quant. So let's talk about Quant in a second. Intraday updates below the video in the Twitter link. And that's where you're going to get access to intraday market movements and any of my entry and exit points. And we've got one to talk about right here and right now. So Quant US dollar is looking pretty tasty at this point. I'm not pulling the trigger yet, but I just want everyone to understand. If I see this pair come down to the 340, 350 range, I will be gobbling some up. And I will post it when that happens. But that's around the range where I think we have a sweet buy. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we see a nice trend here, but there's another reason on one of the underlying indicators that tells me that this could be a really good entry point for me. Now let's look over to there are two factors that drive Quant US dollar. One is when you multiply Quant Bitcoin, which is one of those factors, and then you multiply it with Bitcoin US dollar, which is the other factor, that equals the Quant US dollar. And we can go through another video. Watch one of my old ones. I kind of go through that ad nauseum. But the main thing to know is that the Quant US dollar is equal to the Quant Bitcoin pair multiplied by the Bitcoin US dollar pair. So I can kind of guess, not guess, but educate myself in terms of an educated guess by looking at those two underlying pairs. So let's look at Quant Bitcoin and see what's going on here. Okay, so we have broken a trend. There is no question about it. And the trend started back here. And we've been up. However, there is an invisible line, which we didn't draw in the last one because we kind of felt like we were doing well on this line. However, breaking that line forces us to think of the next area of support. Now, if you look at this, this used to be resistance as this triangle was putting itself together. It then had broken out, came back, hit this support line rather, now support, and is now roughly over support for this also long-term, with the long-term support, which was once resistance. So there is an area here where I think we could have a nice bounce. And that bounce right now is, we're at 767, 345. If we get down here to 741 versus 767, that's probably a 4% drop from here, which would put us kind of snagged right, like literally on that orange line. So I have that going for me. Now let's take a look at the other input, which is Bitcoin US dollar. Well, what the hell's going on here? We talked about this on the last video 2 days ago. This is the channel. This is the sideways channel. Sideways channels are sort of predictable. They're actually very predictable. In fact, it's so predictable that we've had a very similar case of this back in May, earlier this year, when Bitcoin first dropped in its precipitous drop, I should say. But it definitely chopped around for a longer period of time. It looks like here, like initially at face value, that we are on our way up and potentially reversing back to this upward channel. And I'll zoom out here. So I'm feeling kind of bullish on Bitcoin. I'm feeling kind of bullish on the Quant Bitcoin pair, assuming we can come down just a little bit. And there is a proper point for me, personally me, not everyone's into this game, but it would be a good starting point for me to take a dabble into this, a meaningful gulp of the Quant US dollar pair. Now, how I would do it is I don't just chuck all of the money that I want to put into Quant. I have an idea of what I want to put into it, but I won't go all in with what I want to put into it. I'll go 20, 30% a clip. And that's how you kind of value cost your way into the trade. You ease into it. You don't just go sloppy, like a slopopotamus. So you got to kind of, you got to layer into the trade. Anyway, that's pretty much all I'm going to say. But if you follow my Twitter, I'll let you know if and when I execute that trade. I'm looking for a 350 handle. Anyway, I'm out. Hope everyone's well. Take it easy.